Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the rocket on the table and that was a struggle to get it on. The lift struggle to lift it as well, and there is a little puddle underneath which is probably bike lift tears. Anyway, today I'm going to do a quick oil change. Why is that interesting? Well, let's find out. So unlike most engines you would find in a bike or a car for that matter, the rocket has a dry sump engine. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't have oil in a sump underneath, it's all being pumped back into this reservoir, filtered and circulated through the engine again. That has a few advantages. The main ones in this case is obviously not needing the sump under the engine, which would make it a little bit bigger, a little bit higher center of gravity and everything. It's heavy enough as it is. This way the engine could be a little bit lower. You could have an oil reservoir external. Probably the quantity of oil you get into it, it's almost 6 liters, just under 6 liters. If there was a sump underneath, you'd probably find maybe just 4 liters because you're trying to save some space. So yeah, a few advantages. Main disadvantage would be the complexity, but it's still really cool, interesting, and there's a difference in the way you change the oil in this case, and also a difference in the way you fill it. Well, not so much in the way you fill it, but the way you're supposed to check the oil level. So anyway, enough waffling, let's get straight into it. So I'm just going to fit the extractor so I can fire up the bike. I've picked the side that has 2 exhaust pipes. On the other side there's only one. Switch it on and I can fire up the bike. The microphone doesn't do it justice, but the rocket sounds really good. And now I can just stand here and enjoy the sound while it's warming up. Good thing the extractor works well. Eventually the bike ran out of fuel and I could carry on with the job. So we are here underneath the bike, and unlike normal motorcycles or cars that have one drain plug, we've got 3. 1, 2, 3. So we've got one for the front sump plug. For memory I think it's just like 1.5 liters. Rear sump plug, not much, about the same maybe. But most of the oil is in the old tank, which this plug here leads straight to it. So we've got to remove all 3 plugs. And yeah, at the oil drain. Oil filter is right there, we'll take that off as well. So I'm just gonna loosen the plugs before I get the drain pan under the bike. There's not a lot of space down here. So this bike has done very few miles since the last oil change. It had one maybe around 2 years ago, but it's done very little miles, maybe about 500. So yeah, the oil's still very clean, but it's worth replacing anyway. Trying to keep the old rocket in good health. I'm gonna leave the fill cap off so it drains easier. I'm sliding a drain pan under the bike and taking out the plugs one at a time. I could do with the low profile drain pan for this job. And here's the second plug coming from the reservoir. That's where most of the oil is. And the last one right at the back. And now while it's draining I can take care of the oil filter. I'm just going to slide the sleeve off of it. And now loosen it up and take it off. So still dripping a little bit, but there's not much left in there. I could put the drain plugs back in now and start filling it, but I'm in no rush. I'll leave it alone. Go see what the kids are doing, and I'll come back some other day and fill it up. It'll have plenty of time to drain completely by then. And here's the old oil. Looks a bit darker than I was expecting, to be honest. So here we have a new filter for the rocket. And some fresh oil. I'm just gonna give the surface a bit of a clean before I install the new filter. And the new filter already has the O-ring lubricated, so I can put it straight on. And tighten it to the required torque. And clean off any excess oil. and put the shiny sleeve back in place. I can reinstall the drain plugs. The middle one for the oil reservoir is different from the other two. And torque them to the correct spec. And wipe off all the oil. Filling the rocket reservoir when the container is full or nearly empty is a bit difficult, and sometimes I spill a bit, which is not nice. But I've got this nice set that I could use. But I don't have the right adapter that fits the rocket reservoir. Fortunately, I've got a lathe and a stainless steel billet. But no, I've changed my mind. Not today, little guy. Not today. I'm just gonna take the easy route and 3D print it instead. And here it is. Didn't turn out too bad. Now I can get some fresh oil and fill up the bike. And although it looks quite fancy, filling it up this way is a bit slow. But again, I'm in no rush. I can wait for the oil to gradually make its way down. So the first bottle is all empty, and I'm using a measuring jug for the rest of it to fill it up with the quantity of oil specified in the manual. Fire up the bike and let it run for a bit. And the oil level is a little bit low, so I'm just going to top it up, which is quite easy with the bottle half empty. I ran the engine one more time to check the oil level. And it's spot on now. Before we move on, look underneath for leaks, but it all seems clean. And that's it, job's done. The old rocket has some fresh oil in it just in time for winter. It's a bit rainy outside, so it's safe to say it's probably not going to leave the shed this year. Or the first part of next year, to be honest. So yeah, good thing it's got fresh oil in it, and next time we'll do a bit of work on the brakes. Thanks for watching and see you again next time.